chosen one, listen carefully. This is not a casual message. This is not just another video you stumbled upon. This is a divine revelation, a word from the throne room of heaven. God is saying, I am warning you for the last time. Heaven has pressed pause so you would hear this. The Spirit of God is crying out. This is not for later. This is not for tomorrow. It is for now. Think about Noah. For years he warned his generation. But one day, God shut the door of the ark, and when the rain began, it was too late. Think about Pharaoh. After plague, he hardened his heart until the final blow took his firstborn. Think about the rich young ruler. He stood face to face with Jesus and walked away. That was his last chance. Chosen one. What about you? That addiction, that toxic relationship, that hidden sin. God has been whispering, nudging, warning. But today he is saying, this is the last call. So before you scroll away, pause. Like this message, comment your city and declare, Lord, I am listening. Because today, heaven is knocking on your heart. Chosen one, let me ask you something simple. Have you ever heard your phone ring, glanced at the screen, and instantly felt the weight of who was calling? Maybe it was your boss, a loved one, or someone you had been waiting to hear from. The moment you saw that name, you knew you had to pick up. That is what the call of God is like. It is not just a sound, it carries importance, identity, and purpose. Now, think about this. If the president of your nation or the most powerful leader you know tried to reach you, would you ever ignore that call? You would probably answer right away, maybe even sit up straighter, because you would recognize the authority on the other side of the line. If we respond like that to earthly authority, how much more should we value the voice of the one who created heaven and earth? The King of Kings is not calling you by accident. He knows your name, he knows your story, and he is inviting you to something greater than you can imagine. The call of God is not just about receiving a message, it is much deeper than that. When he calls, he is not just delivering words, he is drawing you into destiny. Imagine it this way: when a close friend calls, the phone is only the tool, but the real point is the connection, the conversation that follows. In the same way, God's call is not about the signal itself. It is about the relationship and the journey that begins when you answer. Let us make it even more personal. Have you ever had a moment in life where you felt like everything suddenly shifted? Maybe you were reading something, maybe you heard a song, or maybe you were listening to someone speak, and deep inside you thought, this is for me. That is how God often works. His call does not always come with thunder and lightning. Sometimes it is a gentle whisper that lands right in your heart at just the right time. And the beauty is this: when you feel it, you know it. Answering this call is not just about saying yes in a moment. It is about unlocking the bigger picture of your life. The call is connected to your destiny, to the entire direction of your journey. Think about seeds. A seed on its own looks small and ordinary, but hidden inside it is an entire tree with branches, fruit, and even more seeds. In the same way, God's call on your life is like that seed. When you respond, you are saying yes to all the hidden potential inside you, your gifts, your influence, your legacy. And here is something worth reflecting on. What if your decision today does not only shape your future, but also impacts people you have not even met yet? Your family, your children, your community. There are lives connected to your obedience. Sometimes the call you answer today becomes the blessing someone else will thank God for tomorrow. That is how powerful it is. So, chosen one, let me ask you, what do you feel when you sense that nudge inside? Do you brush it off as coincidence, or do you pause and lean in? Because the truth is, the call is not random. It is intentional and it is personal. God is reaching out to you, not because He needs you, but because He wants you. He sees the greatness in you even when you cannot see it yourself. Take a moment right now and think. If the Creator of the universe is calling your name, how will you respond? Will you let the moment slip, or will you step into the conversation that could change everything? The call is not just about now, it is about destiny. And destiny begins with a simple yes. Chosen one, let me ask you something very real. Have you ever woken up in the morning and asked yourself, why am I here? What is the point of all this? If you have, you are not alone. Every human being at some point feels that deep pull inside, that quiet voice that says life has to be about more than just surviving, working, and repeating the same cycle. That is where the purpose of God's call comes in. His call is not about keeping you busy, it is about pulling you into your destiny. See, there is a difference between activity and purpose. Activity means you are always moving, always doing something, but sometimes without direction. Purpose is different. It gives meaning to every step. God does not call you just to fill time. He calls you to fulfill destiny. Think about this verse from Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you hope and a future. That is not just a nice line, it is a promise. God's call is always connected to His plan for your life. And here is the beautiful part. His plan is not just for you to get by, it is for you to live in fullness, with impact, with joy, with hope. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine holding a tiny seed in your hand. At first glance, it looks so small, almost insignificant. But inside that seed is a forest waiting to be born. One seed carries the potential for roots, branches, fruit, and more seeds that will spread across generations. That is exactly what God has placed inside you. His call is the invitation to plant that seed, to let it grow, and to watch the destiny that is hidden in you come alive. Here is something I want you to really think about. Your destiny is not only about you, it is bigger than your personal success. When you say yes to God's call, it creates ripples that reach people you may never even meet. Your family, your children, your community, even strangers on the other side of the world can be touched by your obedience. Have you ever met someone who said one small thing to you and it completely shifted your perspective? That is the power of purpose. Your yes today might be the reason someone else finds hope tomorrow. Let me share a simple example. There was a young man who loved music but never thought his songs mattered. One day, he decided to step into his purpose and started writing songs about hope and faith. Years later, one of his songs reached a person who was about to give up on life, and it gave them strength to keep going. Do you see it? His obedience to his call was not just about him, it saved someone else's story. That is destiny. Now pause for a moment and reflect. What has God placed inside you? Is it a gift, a passion, a skill, a dream you have been ignoring? Could it be that inside you there are answers to problems the world has not yet solved? When you answer the call, you are not just choosing a career or a path. You are stepping into the reason you were created. Chosen one, your destiny is not random. It is not an accident. It is carefully designed, full of hope and a future. But it begins with a response. You do not have to see the whole picture right away. All you need is the courage to say yes to the first step. So let me leave you with this question. If God is calling you toward the life He designed for you, what is stopping you from answering? Remember, you carry a forest inside you. Do not let that seed stay buried. Let it grow, let it bless, let it become the destiny you were always meant to live. Why does God say, "This is the last time"? because time itself is short. Hebrews 9:27 reminds us, "It is appointed for man once to die, and after that comes judgment." You do not know your final day. None of us do. Think of it like a train. God's mercy is like a train that waits at the station, but it will not wait forever. One day, the door of grace will shut, just like the ark in Noah's time. If you are not on board, you are left behind. That is why this is urgent. This could literally be your last chance. Chosen one, let me ask you a heartfelt question. Have you ever felt that small tug in your spirit, like something inside you is trying to get your attention, but you brushed it aside? Maybe you thought, "I will deal with it later," or I'm not ready yet. We all have moments like that. But the truth is, when we keep ignoring that call, something deep within us begins to feel unsettled. Life without answering your call can start to feel like a song left unfinished. Imagine listening to a beautiful melody that suddenly cuts off in the middle. It leaves you waiting, expecting more, but nothing comes. That is how the soul feels when the purpose God placed in us is left unanswered. Here is something important. Ignoring the call does not mean you are punished. It simply means you miss out on the fullness that was meant for you. Think of it like being invited to a feast prepared with love. The table is set, the food is ready, and everyone is waiting for you. But if you choose not to come, you miss the experience, the joy, the laughter, and the connections that were waiting at that table. The feast is still there, but you are not part of it. Sometimes people think they can silence the call by distracting themselves, working harder, chasing success, filling their days with noise. But deep inside, there is still that gentle reminder, you are meant for more. Have you ever felt that whisper late at night when everything is quiet? That is not an accident. It is your destiny reminding you of what you were born to do. Let me share a simple story. A woman once felt she was supposed to mentor young people. She had wisdom, patience, and love to give. But she kept putting it off, thinking, "I will start next year." Years passed, and the opportunity faded. Later, in life, she said her biggest regret was not the things she failed at, but the things she never tried. She realized the call was not about her comfort, it was about the lives she could have touched. Ignoring it left her with a quiet ache, and that is the real consequence, regret. Not the loud kind, but the soft, lingering thought that asks, "What could have been if I had said yes?" That is why it matters so much to pay attention when you feel that pull inside. Because when you follow the call, you create meaning, joy and blessings, not just for yourself, but for others too. Think about this. What talents or passions has God placed in you that you are not using? Could it be singing, teaching, helping others, creating, or leading? If those gifts stay hidden, the world misses out on the light you were supposed to bring. Every gift has a purpose. If a candle stays unlit, the room stays dark, even though the candle was created to shine. Chosen one, ignoring the call can feel like walking through life with a map, but never reaching the destination. You may still move, you may still achieve things, but deep inside, you know there is more. And until you step into that more, that longing will never fully go away. The beautiful truth is, it is never too late to respond. Even if you have ignored the call before, the moment you decide to answer, the path begins to unfold again. That is the mercy and grace of God. He never takes away your destiny. He simply waits for you to embrace it. So let me leave you with this thought. Do you really want to live a life of what if, or do you want to live a life of I did? The choice is always in your hands. The call is not just an invitation, it is a gift. and gifts are meant to be opened, not ignored. Chosen one, here is the beautiful truth. No matter where you are right now, hope is always within reach. You may have wandered, you may have delayed, or maybe you are still figuring things out, but the call is not gone. The very fact that you are listening right now is a sign that hope is still alive in your story. Think of life like a sunrise. Even after the darkest night, the light always returns. Hope is that light. And the best part? It is not just a vague feeling, it is a guide. It shows you where to place your steps and reminds you that you are not walking alone. Now the question is, how do you actually step into this hope and respond to your call? It sounds big, but let us break it down into simple, real steps that anyone can follow. The first step is awareness. You cannot move toward your purpose if you are not aware of it. So take time to pause and ask yourself, what stirs your heart? What is that thing that excites you, challenges you, and makes you feel alive? Sometimes it is a passion that has been with you since childhood. Other times it is born out of experiences or struggles you have gone through. Hope grows stronger when you identify what God has planted inside you. The second step is trust. Trust is not just about believing in God's plan, it is about believing that you are capable of walking in it. So many people hesitate because they think, what if I am not enough? But chosen one, you are more prepared than you realize. Every skill, every lesson, and every hardship you have faced has been shaping you for this moment. Trust that you have what it takes to begin. The third step is action. Hope without action remains a dream. Action is where things shift. And action does not always mean a giant leap. It can be as small as making a commitment to pray daily, journaling your thoughts, reaching out to someone who inspires you, or taking one simple step toward your passion. Small steps build momentum, and momentum leads to transformation. Let me give you an example. There was a young man who felt called to serve his community, but he had no idea where to start. Instead of waiting for the perfect plan, he began by tutoring one child after school. Over time, more children came. Then parents joined. Years later, that small beginning grew into a learning center that changed hundreds of lives. It all started with one hopeful action. Another important piece is community. You are not meant to walk this journey alone. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who remind you of your purpose, and who encourage you when you feel weak. Think about it. Even the strongest flame shines brighter when other flames are nearby. Who is in your circle right now? Do they encourage your growth, or do they drain your hope? Choosing the right community can make all the difference. And finally, gratitude. Gratitude keeps hope alive. When you pause to notice the blessings around you, even the small ones, you begin to see how God is already moving in your life. Gratitude shifts your perspective from, I am not there yet, to, look, how far I have come. That shift creates energy, faith, and joy for the journey ahead. So, chosen one, let me ask you directly, what step can you take today? Not tomorrow, not someday, but today. Is it making space for quiet reflection? Is it taking a bold decision you have been delaying? Or maybe it is simply choosing to believe in yourself again. Whatever it is, hope becomes real the moment you act on it. Remember, this path is not about perfection. It is about progress. It is about saying yes, even in small ways, and trusting that each step brings you closer to the destiny waiting for you. Hope is not just an idea. It is your lifeline, your compass, and your reminder that better is always ahead. Chosen one, the call has been given. Hope is your anchor, and the steps are in front of you. All that is left is for you to take them. And when you do, you will discover that the life you have been longing for has been waiting for you all along. When you finally say yes to the call on your life, something shifts inside you. It is not only about stepping into a bigger purpose, it is also about stepping into a richer, fuller version of yourself. Saying yes is like opening a door that you might have been standing in front of for years, and the moment you cross it, you realize there was an entire world waiting on the other side. Let us talk about what those rewards really look like. Because it is not only about blessings in the distant future, it is about changes you begin to feel the very moment you surrender and embrace your path. The first reward is peace. Have you ever noticed how restless life feels when you are unsure of your direction? It is like carrying a heavy weight that never seems to go away. But once you say yes to the call, that restlessness turns into clarity. You may not have every answer, but you finally know you are moving with purpose. That peace is priceless. The second reward is growth. When you say yes, life begins to stretch you. You discover strengths you never knew were in you. It is like a seed finally breaking the ground to become a tree. You realize you are capable of far more than you imagined. And even in challenges, you find a deeper resilience rising up within you. Another reward is connection. Doors open to people and opportunities that align with your journey. Suddenly, you meet others who inspire you, guide you, and walk with you. Think of it like tuning into the right frequency. You start attracting those who share the same vision and energy. That kind of community is a reward in itself. Then there is joy. True joy does not come from possessions or achievements alone. It comes from knowing you are living in harmony with your purpose. Every step feels meaningful. Even simple things, helping someone, sharing your gifts, or making progress, bring a deep satisfaction that no one can take away. Let me share a small story. There was a woman who felt called to mentor young girls, but for years she doubted herself. She kept saying, "Maybe later." Finally, she said yes and started small, just one weekly meeting in her living room. Over time, that group grew. She watched lives change, and at the same time, her own life became brighter, fuller, and richer. She often said, "I thought I was helping them, but in reality, it was healing me." That is the kind of reward saying yes brings. It blesses both others and yourself. Another reward is alignment. When you say yes, life begins to flow differently. The right opportunities come at the right time. You start to see patterns, connections, and even miracles that you may have missed before. It feels like the universe is conspiring to guide you forward. And finally, one of the greatest rewards is legacy. By saying yes, you leave something behind that is bigger than yourself. You touch lives, inspire hearts, and plant seeds that will keep growing long after you are gone. That legacy is not measured in fame or wealth, but in the impact you have on others. Chosen one, imagine yourself years from now looking back. Will you feel grateful that you said yes, that you embraced the journey, and that you lived fully? Or will you wonder what could have been if you had taken that step? That is the power of your decision. So let me ask you, what is holding you back from saying yes? The rewards are not waiting in some far-off place. They begin the moment you open your heart and step forward. Peace, growth, joy, connection, alignment, and legacy. All of it is waiting. Saying yes is not only obedience, it is freedom. It is fulfillment. It is the start of a life that feels true to who you were always meant to be. And once you taste that reward, you will never want to go back. Chosen one, do not delay. Tomorrow is not promised. Delay is the devil's greatest weapon. Remember the parable of the 10 virgins. 5 were ready, 5 were not. When the bridegroom came, the door was shut forever. Heaven is watching. Hell is trembling. Angels are leaning in. This is the final call. One yes will shift your eternity. One no will seal your regret. The choice is yours, but the time is now. Now let us pray together. Repeat after me. Father, I surrender. I say yes to your call. Break every chain, forgive every sin, and guide my steps. From this day, I belong to you. In Jesus' name, amen. If you prayed that, you are not alone. You are part of a family. Declare it in the comments. I said yes. And if this word spoke to you, consider planting a seed into this ministry. Your support is not just money, it is a prophetic act, a covenant between you and God. Use the Super Thanks button or the link in the comments. As you give, may God bless your finances, open doors, and multiply your obedience. Even the smallest gift is a step of faith. No act is too small in the eyes of God. Chosen one, remember, God said, "This is my final warning." Do not ignore it. Say yes today.